guys, welcome back to Ohio River History. Today on The Legend by Nokta Makro, what we're going to dive into for this video, and this video all by itself, is a tones menu. We're going to go through the tones, we're going to set them up, we're going to go through the sub menu and let you see how that all works. And let's get it turned on and we'll get started right now. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to hit the settings button, and that is going to bring us to here. We're going to go over, and just for your information, on the volume mode today so that we can hear what we do a little bit, I've got it set at 4 so that we can hear it. I've got the sensitivity turned all the way down so that we don't hear the chatter of the machine. But we're going to go over to this next menu. Once we get on the tones menu, over to the left you see the little arrow with the plus sign. That indicates that we are into the sub menu. So we're going to hit the plus for that, and it's going to take us over here to the first thing. So I've already kind of played with this a little bit, and I've decided that I'm going to make my first day out, I'm going to do it in 6 tones. So this menu right here that we're in with the little square around it shows 6 tones. You can do 4, 2, 1, or 60. You can go all the way up to 60 tones. Now you can cheat that in the other menus if you like, but for the sake of how I'm gonna play when I go out this weekend for the first time, we're gonna do 6 tones. Okay, right there, 6 tones. Now with that being said, there's a reason for that. I may change it around to make it a little different. I may have a couple of the tones have the exact same sound, but I like the whole 6 tone idea. So what's really cool about this, and I was concerned with it, I didn't see on the get-go, the next menu over is the tone volume menu. So now we're in the tone volume menu, the little plus sign comes back up again, so you hit up. So now you see we're in that range, level 1 range of 1 through 11. Nokta Makro says that 11 is typically a foil signal, so we're going to make this, so that's the very end of the iron range. I'm going to agree with that, and I've already got this thing preset, but you can go all the way up to 10 on your volume. Well, I don't want my iron to be a 10. One of my favorite features that Nokta has always put on their machines is iron volume. I like to hear it, I want to know it's there, but I'm going to turn it all the way down to a 1. I just want to hear the grunt, I want to know it's there, but I don't want it to be loud in my ear. So we are right now in park mode, which I will be in field mode so on Saturday, but that doesn't matter. So first thing we're going to do is we're setting our iron volume to 1. You could probably go to, depending upon how it sounds when I play with it outside, I may switch that. The next breakover is we're going to go from 10 to 20. There's a lot of stuff in here I don't know that I necessarily want to hear. I want it to be louder than the first set, so I'm going to run this one up to 4. We'll start it out right there. I think that's a good spot for me because I don't think that in this range is much that I'm really looking for, maybe a gold signal or whatnot. Yeah, I'm going to keep that one right around 4. I definitely will probably dig those targets. Switching over to the next setting, let's see, accept that and hit the plus. Switching over to the next setting, your 20 to 30 range. I've got that one up around a 6. I'm increasing my volume as I get higher into the mid-tone range. I got that up at a 6. I think that's a good spot for me. It's a little louder than the one that I'm kind of scared of right before that, but it's not overpowering to my brain yet, because in the end of the day, we're all searching for a lot of high tones unless we're on a specific relic type hunt or a gold hunt. So we'll accept, hit the plus, and move on over. 30 to 40. Once we get above, once we get into the high mid-tones, we're going to turn the volume up, but this one here I decided I'm going to drop it back to about an 8. I want it to be loud because I'm going to dig all these signals in a field. There's a lot of copper and brass and stuff like that, and relics that are in that range, or in a park. I'm gonna have that one loud, and we're gonna say that we'll set that one at an 8. The next one is Once we get over is 40 to 50. So these last 20 numbers on here, I'm assuming are gonna be they're gonna be all my very high mid-tones to high tones, and I want them to be loud. So we're gonna do the last two at 10. So essentially, instead of having 6 tones, I really have 5 volume tones, but I think I'm gonna make those numbers on my high tone, especially field hunting, which I'm not in field mode, but when I do my field hunting, I'm gonna leave it that way because that is exactly what I want to hear, what I'm looking for, those last two. So I'm gonna hit accept on that. It's gonna take me back. I'm going to hit the plus again, and we're gonna move over into the next section, which is the pitch of the tone, the way the tone sounds. So not only can you customize the volume of the tone, you can customize which each tone sounds like in your selected mode. So now we're in the pitch menu. So there's the extra lines right behind it. We're going to hit the up arrow because it showed up on the screen to get into that menu. And now you've got the tone, the way that it's going to sound. So 1 through 10 or 1 through 11 that you see up there in the top corner, I've got that set currently at a 1. This is the sound of my lowest tone. And I don't want it to be anything that sounds remotely decent. I'm gonna drop it down all the way back to a 1 because I want it to sound like a grunt. There you go, hear that? That's how I want that one to sound. I'm gonna move over to the next tone, 10 to 20. I want it to be a little bit louder because there's targets in there that I'm going to wanna dig, but I don't want it to sound like pure iron grunt, even though there's probably some more iron in this. Hear how that one sounds? Gonna leave that one at a 5. I played with these a little bit last night trying to figure out exactly how I wanted them to sound. So I'm pretty close to that being where I want it to be. So we're gonna leave that one as is. The next one, 20 to 30, there's gonna be quite a few targets in here that I dig, and I've got this one set up at a 15. Tell me what you think. Quite a bit higher, definitely makes it sound more diggable. And don't forget, I got the volume set at a certain level for this signal as well in the other menu when I go to actually swinging. But I want that to be my tone, 15, I like it right there. You can run it up high, and also you can effectively, like I told you, I set up in 6 tone. Well, I can make it 5 tone if I set 2 tones with the same tone. And that's exactly where I'm gonna be when we get to the last 2 levels. But let's keep moving on over. 30 to 40, I definitely want this to sound higher. And I'm not all sure what all targets are gonna be in this range, so I may adjust these levels or I may adjust the breakpoints, which we'll get to next. But I like that sound at 22, 22, 23. So I'm gonna keep it right there. One more or a couple more to go. And so the 40 to 50 is one of my high tones, and I got it set at 28. Anywhere between 28 and 30 seems about the same. I set it at 28 so it wasn't quite ear piercing, but that's the way it's gonna be. And I had this one preset at 30 for the very high tones. I wanted to be able to distinguish it just a little bit, and I got it set up the loudest. So I've got that one set at the highest. That one is at a 30. So I'm gonna go ahead and accept these. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the arrow over to the last one. And then I'm gonna hit the arrow up to get into that menu. And so now we're in the break menu. I'm set up in 6 tones. Now it's giving me the option when I'm in the field. If I don't like the way, so say everything I'm digging on this lower end of the spectrum, for example, say I'm getting a lot of 15s and 16s that are really just nothing but bad iron targets. Say that's just the way they're ranging for me. I can change my breakpoints of the tones by, once I'm in this menu in here, I can go up there. I can go all the way up to say a 17. If I don't like the way that those targets are sounding in my environment, I can change this lowest level. I can increase the range of it on my tone break. And so my first tone, that nasty little grunt, can be right there at 17. Now if I say I go ahead and select that I want that, I hit the accept button. I'm going to hit the plus button again, and then I'm going to go over to the level 2. Now level 2 is just a smaller range. I'm going to want to adjust all my ranges accordingly after that if I do that, but that gives me the option to increase one area that, so like your lowest tone that you're not going to dig. It's almost like, you know, once you got it at such a low volume, it's the same thing as discriminating it out, but without discriminating it out, so you still hear it. You know, there may be instances in there that I don't want to do that, but I'm probably going to play with that a little bit. Once I'm all said and done and get several hours in the field, I'm going to give you guys my customizable menu that I'm using for my ground type and where I'm at and what I'm looking for. But you know, for argument's sake, then what was normally 11 through 20 on my second tone, then you go over to the next one, and then you're back on course. 21 through 30, 31 through 40, 41 through 50, and since they're set up as in the same tone, then I've only got 5 tones set up. So it says 41 through 50, but it's actually 41 through 60 because I've only got the 5th tone set up in there. With that all being said, we're gonna dive into, we got 2 more little areas here, and I'm gonna set these up. I don't think I set these up last night because I don't really care for them much. But this is a tool that some metal detectorists use. I know some of the gold hunters like to use this way. And we're gonna accept where we're set up. No, we're not. We're gonna go back and we're gonna drop this back. Oops. Gonna go to level 1, and I'm gonna drop this back down. That's where they recommend, right at the beginning, and that's where I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna accept this, and now I'm gonna move over to the last 2 menus, and these are like threshold menus. So basically, if you go into this menu, in which it's already I said it last night. What this does is that this gives your detector a hum or a sound. I don't know if you can hear that. Okay, if you can hear that, that's great. What that's doing is that's giving you a sound, and what you're looking for at this point See, I don't really see the benefit of having that in the menu. But you can also change the tone of it. Not necessarily, I don't think I picked a very good target to swing over that. So what I'll say is that I'm pretty positive that I'm not going to use these 2 menus, but there will be somebody out there that does. So I'm going to set these all the way back. I'm going to set that to 0 because honestly, I don't think I want to hear a constant humming. But there are some detectors out there that wanted that option, so Nokta Makro gave you the ability to do that. So with that being said, we've covered the 4 areas of the tones and the customizable setup, which really is pretty simple. And once you get into a profile and set up a profile, which we will probably do on the next video, and then I save a profile, I did make a slight mistake, which I didn't realize, but there is 4 profiles for each setting. So you can have 4 customizable programs, so 16 total, 4 for park, 4 for field, 4 for beach, and 4 for gold prospecting. We'll talk about profiles next time. I need to let you go. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like, subscribe, and share button. Helps this channel out a bunch, and I appreciate you watching. I hope it's been informative.